Hey, I'm Laurence Crow, and I am a graphic designer and illustrator in the music scene in general. I draw lots of things for lots of bands.
So, your favourite bands, who have you designed for?
Favourite bands that I've designed for? I've been really lucky that I've designed for some really cool people. Last year I managed to get a gig designing the gig poster for Kyle Gass from Tenacious D.
Sick.
And that was a really sick one to do. I was really stoked to be able to do that one.
So how did that come about? How did you manage to...
The promoter approached me and he was just like, oh, we've got this gig happening. It was 2 dates in Manchester or something, and he was like, want a cool poster for it, and so I just kind of I did my kind of thing where I drew this illustration of him and stuff, and I wasn't expecting Kyle to actually kind of see it, because the kind of thing a lot of what I do, especially with the bigger bands, you just kind of work with the promoter and the agent, and then I sent it to the agent, he really liked it, and then he sent me a screenshot, and it was an email from Kyle, and it just said, yo, that's fucking sick. I was like, hell yeah. So it was really cool that he actually saw it as well. That's probably the coolest band that I've done something for that's a bit random as well.
Was it his solo stuff? Or
the Kyle Gass.
So it wasn't with Jack Black, it was...
No, it wasn't Tenacious D. Oh, that would be really
That would have been cool.
So it was after the whole kind of because they did that break thing, didn't they?
Yeah.
Where Carl was, he was saying something about Trump, wasn't he? He said something political, and then they were like, "Whoa, I can't be having that," and then they kind of split up to Tenacious D. So it was right after that, Carl was doing a solo.
He went out
tour.
on a solo tour, and that's really cool.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one.
So how do you work? What sort of equipment do you use for your work?
So back in the olden days when I started, so I've been doing this for 10 years, and when I first started I was literally I had my crappy Mac laptop, and I was literally using the trackpad, so in Photoshop I was doing that because I didn't have the equipment, but I knew I really wanted to do this, so no equipment, but I was painstakingly drawing with my little trackpad, and eventually I kind of got enough money together doing it to get a crappy drawing tablet, say, with the stylus, and then I've kind of slowly over time just upgraded that setup. It's still pretty crappy and still pretty basic, but I'm still using just Photoshop, and then I've got a drawing tablet and my computer, and I sit there. I work out of a shed in the bottom of my garden. So it's me every morning. I do the morning commute to work down to the bottom of the garden, and I work out my shed, and I've got my drawing tablet, laptop, blast some music, and that's where we are.
So what's in your playlist when you're working?
I depend. So that's the thing. I do a lot of work for heavier bands and stuff, and I do love my heavy music. Weirdly, kind of a lot of the stuff I do, I think because I work in quite a cartoony style, it kind of lends itself more to pop punky kind of stuff. So I do a lot of work for pop punky kind of stuff. I'm getting really into electronic music though. I love some drum and bass at the moment. I'm getting really into jungle. So a lot of the stuff.
A new one.
like ambient jungle. So a lot of what I'm listening to at the moment, I'm doing work for heavy bands, but I've got in the background, So that's what I'm chilling to at the moment.
So does your playlist help you with inspiration? Do you get a vibe for certain things?
Yeah, kind of, especially so when I'm doing work for a band that maybe I don't know the stuff for, but they've approached me and they're like, oh, yo, can you do this? I do like to chuck on their kind of stuff and check it out and kind of get a vibe, and then I'll go through their playlists and different stuff that they're kind of other bands they're playing with, and be like, oh yeah, this is really cool, and so it's cool doing this. It's really good to get good recommendations for cool bands and stuff especially locally. There's so many cool bands in the scene, and it's really cool being able to do work for certain people and then check their stuff out and then be like, oh, they're only playing down the road, go see them live and stuff. We're really lucky kind of in Kent where we are.
Everything's such a small community.
We got a really cool scene. We got a really cool scene.
So with your style of work, would you say it has changed over the years since you've been doing it?
So I was definitely kind of more cartoony kind of back in the day. So when I first started on the little mouse trackpad, I was very limited with what I could do with that. So my stuff was very, very cartoony and very simple. And I've kind of like developed over time. When I was first starting, I was kind of like really inspired by like street art. There's like street artists that like was really
Well,
really
like
into.
Banksy and all that sort of.
Not even like more kind of like cartoon. There's like a whole kind of scene of like European kind of like really cartoony stuff. I should have like remembered some names, but like it's been a long time since I've been really into that stuff. But I was really into that kind of stuff. And then my kind of styles developed, and especially where kind of I've been getting really into doing more heavier kind of band stuff. And I've kind of been trying to get more detailed with what I'm doing, getting more kind of like shading and line work into the skulls that I'm drawing. And you know, like especially a lot of the heavier bands, like it's like getting some really cool kind of like gory graphic skulls and spikes and shit like that. Like so I've been really trying to kind of push into more that direction away from the cartoony stuff. But I still like doing the really cartoony stuff as well. But yeah, like so my style's definitely developed. Yeah.
So is it like tell us about your developing artistic style within the music industry?
Yeah. Like I say, like so when I'm doing a lot of like the pop punk band stuff, it does tend to lean to be more cartoony, and so I'll kind of make sure that the kind of line weight, I'm doing like a bit of a heavier line weight on its stuff to make it pop more and feel cartoony. There's a band locally that are really, really cool called the Ovines. Do you know the Ovines?
I've heard of them, yes.
They're really sick. But then kind of over the years, I've been working with them pretty much since I started. They're really cool. And then when I started, they got me to design like this logo for them, and it was just this kind of really cartoony kind of minimalist sheep. It's like basically just a cloud with legs. But it was cool. But it's worked, like how kind of simple it was has kind of like worked, that it's been really easy to kind of translate that through different kind of eras of that band. And as I've kind of progressed and kind of developed my style and kind of been able to do more with the equipment and kind of learning how to just be a better artist over the years, I've been able to kind of develop that logo as well and kind of like apply it to different art. And so there's different single covers they've got and different album covers where I've kind of this little sheep they've kind of like coined it the Larry. It's called a Larry. And I've got him kind of like doing different designs and different things. They've got like, so I've been doing different merch designs for them where like they've got him as like actually I've got one of the shirts. Can I grab it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
One second.
Tumbleweed.
Yeah. I brought some I'll sit in the same spot. I brought some shirts that I've designed to show you.
You can put the microphone on your shirt if you want. If you don't want to like put it down.
Yeah, good shout.
Power of editing. Just.
Can you hear me? Okay, is
Yes.
that right?
Yes. Yeah.
So Ovines, sick
yeah.
band, and then this is one of the shirts that I did recently.
What are they? Chicken nuggets? Are they just?
No, these are the sheep. These are the sheep. So like I said, like, they're just like clouds. They're sick. But then, so these ones, they're fishmongers, right? And they're like,
Oh, that's sick.
yeah, yeah. So but again, so this is like one of the more cartoony kind of things that I do, and it, like I say, it started off as a real cartoony thing, and then I've developed it over time to. They're doing different jobs and they're doing different things. They're rocking it. They're on their kind of most. They've just put out a new EP, which is sick. It's a really good EP. But on the kind of like inlay of the vinyl, they got me to do like a Where's Wally style thing, where it's like hundreds of these little sheep, and they've all got like different hats on and different things, and then there's a Where's Wally one like in there somewhere. Yeah,
Would you ever make like a murder mystery one at some point? Like a who did it but with sheep?
I'd love to do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I have to message them later and be like, let's do a murder mystery. Yeah, sheep murder mystery. Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about your favourite designers. Who's inspired you behind your artwork, and then you basically just put your own spin on it.
Yeah. So I'm really, really inspired by. There's like a whole kind of scene of kind of like gig poster artists that specifically do like sick gig posters and like APs and that kind of stuff. There's an artist called Dan Mumford, who's probably my biggest inspiration, and he's inspired like so many other artists. Dan Mumford's done like everything you'll ever. He did the original Gallows. He did a Gallows artwork. He's done so much stuff. He did A Day to Remember, Homesick, that album cover. He did.
Great band too.
Yeah. He and then kind of like since then he's just done like basically every cool band ever. He's done a gig poster for.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're all like incredible, like highly detailed, amazing kind of pieces of art. And that's kind of what I kind of aspire to do, is to just do like really cool, high quality, detailed art. And so that's again with my style progressing and moving from kind of more cartoony to kind of more detailed kind of stuff. As I've kind of developed being able to do stuff, like I definitely look at my inspirations like Dan Mumford. There's another artist that I'm really good mates with as well called Mark Bell. He's amazing, he's incredible. He kind of started off kind of doing lots of stuff for punk bands, which is how I met him, from just the scene. And then he's kind of moved on, he's doing stuff for like Disney now. Like, he's like,
cool.
Yeah, he's doing some really cool. He's just done like a series of like Studio Ghibli. Do you say Ghibli or Ghibli? Do you say Ghibli?
I mean,
or
Ghibli sounds funnier, but it's probably Ghibli.
Do you know the films? Like My Neighbor Totoro.
Yes.
And like, he's just like anime kind of like, they're really cool films. But he's just done like a range of those. I say Studio Ghibli. I really actually do like those films. But I've heard people say Ghibli. He's just done like a range of those, and he's an amazing. So shout out Dan Mumford, shout out Mark Bell, check out all their art. There's another illustrator called Luke Priest, who's also amazing. He's again very similar to these artists, the style that he works in. All of these guys work the same as me, like digitally, like it's all digital art, like illustrating on a tablet, probably using Photoshop or Illustrator like I do. And they're all amazing, yeah. Really
so
cool
do you
stuff.
have like a dream band or like a dream poster you want to design?
Cancer Bats, if you ever see this, Cancer Bats, you ever see this, hit me up. Like Cancer Bats, like my favourite band ever. And like, you should, yeah, Cancer Bats. And like honestly, like I kind of like, sometimes I just, when I've like got a bit of free time, I'll draw something that I just want to draw. And then I'll kind of post it up as like a ready-made design. It'd be like, oh, this design's available. Kind of like 9 out of 10 times that'll probably be a bat-related design, and that's so that maybe one day, hopefully, Cancer Bats will see my stuff and be like, yeah, that's sick. We'll use that. Like, so that would be the dream. I love Cancer Bats, like my favorite band ever.
So how would you design if you had the chance to work with them? How would you design it?
So there's an interview with the singer of Cancer Bats from like years and years ago, and he said the reason why they chose that name is just so that they could get loads of sick merch with just like skulls with bat skulls and bat wings on. So I think anything with like a skull or bat skulls or bat wings, I think that's gonna be cool, you know. So yeah, so just slap loads of bat wings and everything, and like and hope that Cancer Bats help me. I want to do some work for you, please.
So what's your take on AI? Do you think it's ruined your line of work and business and that sort of thing?
It's a nuanced thing. I'm very, very anti-AI. I will never use AI in my work. I've never used AI in my work. So I've been freelance doing this for 10 years now, and it's the last year or so I've really seen a kind of like change in the way that things are happening, and I have lost clients, and I've noticed a decline in work since AI's has become a thing, and kind of it's shit. It is shit. Not to get like too serious, but yeah, look, I've definitely noticed a kind of like change in the scene, and it sucks. I've noticed a lot of like designer friends are kind of like struggling with the same thing, and kind of like having kind of that stuff come in and like take over, take clients away. It's also terrible for the environment. It's also just regurgitating other art. So I had a thing happen to me the end of last year, where I was working on a poster. So I was working on a poster, like a Christmas themed pop punk poster, and for inspiration, I was just googling like Christmas pop punk, and this poster came out like on Google search for a gig in Canada, right? That was using my artwork, but it was my artwork that I had done for like a Christmas pop punk CD about 5 years ago, but it had been put into AI, and it was it was the same image, but it was weird and warped, and like it the CD, the promotions company I'd done it for was called like Takeout Records, and so I'd drawn like a little takeaway box in the corner of it, and this AI poster had the same takeaway box, but it had nothing to do with like, so that was like the tell to me that it was like the same artwork. And like this random Canadian venue had taken my artwork, put it into like generative AI, shat out this like artwork, and it just and like people are doing that. They're stealing people's artwork and using it for their own when they could be hiring like real artists. And the scary thing is, this was quite a big venue that was putting on quite big bands, including Cancer Bats. Like, not, they didn't have anything to do with this, but like this venue were putting on big bands and they were stealing artists' work. And like, so it's what I'm saying is it's happening in the scene. Like, the artists are getting ripped off and stuff stolen from them, and AI is kind of being used to do that, and it's very, very scary.
I feel like it's made people lazy.
It has made people lazy. It's like not even
you
like
get a faster turnout, right? So they go, oh yeah, well, I can get this done within like, you know, what, 30 minutes to an hour. They just put whatever they want in it, and you can just generate whatever they want.
That's the other scary thing as well, because I think like people are kind of like thinking that because AI can do that, real designers can do that as well. I think it's kind of making people be like, oh, if my designer that I'm hiring can't turn something around in like an hour, like it's starting getting to the point where like the people that I'm working for kind of maybe are kind of wanting a tighter turnaround stuff. Like, I try and turn around as tightly as possible anyway, but I think maybe there's higher kind of stakes for designers and stuff. So it's definitely getting like changing stuff in the creative scene, like not just art, like music as well. Like you're a musician, like it must be scary for you seeing kind of like the Spotify algorithms pushing
like
AI
the
music, right?
The amount of times I've heard songs, oh, this is sick, and then you go onto
AI,
the Spotify, there's nothing about them, and it's like, oh, that's an AI image, and the song's really good, but I'm like, why is this even a thing? But then there's like an artist now that I've noticed, it releases a song basically like every 2 days. And I'm like, there's no real artist on the planet that can even distribute music that fast. So it's just crap music, but it's like just reaching an algorithm, so it's just peaking all the time.
AI is like I think it is the single scariest, most offensive thing towards human like creativity and humanity. I think it is the worst thing we've possibly created, and I think it's very scary. And I think like the whole thing with like, I love my video games, right? I love my video games, and PS5s, they've just, it's like the first console ever to up the prices, but like mid-cycle, like 5 years after the release of the console, because they just can't get the data chips, and they can't get the RAM anymore, because all of the chips are being used for these data farms and stuff. It's so scary. Like it's affecting like a bigger, wider kind of thing than just art and just music. It's affecting like a lot of the it's affecting a lot of stuff, you know. Like, it's affecting a lot of things.
People are running it in their everyday jobs now. Even to write an email, AI. It's just there, it's responsive, but it's just lazy. When
people can't play their video games because they can't buy their consoles because AI farms are using all the chips, and then they're going to work and they're using that. That's the thing I don't get. And like, right. So my dad, he works in a school, okay? The kids are using AI to write their essays. The teachers are using AI to market. Like, there's gonna be this big deficit in education where the next generation coming up now aren't gonna know anything because they've not learnt anything and they've not been taught anything because it's all this AI kind of shitstorm, Ouroboros of snake eating itself, like AI dog shit. Yeah, it's awful. I hate it so much. That's my rant on AI.
I mean, AI is useful, but in the music industry, it needs to just die.
Yeah.
I think the guy that created AI for music said, most musicians don't want to create music anymore, hence why I brought this AI system in to create the music. And I'm like, it's such bullshit.
There's a really interesting documentary on YouTube. I think it's Adam Neely. But have you seen this? Yeah.
Not yet, but I will check this out.
But Adam Neely, he's done a really, really, really good kind of documentary kind of video on YouTube about AI in the music scene. It's really interesting. But yeah, my stance is I will never use AI in my work, and it's the kind of thing where like I've had comments almost like, because it's digital, because I draw digitally, people like look at it like and don't look, and they assume that it's AI when it's absolutely not, never will be. But I've had comments being like, AI stuff, and that's another way that it's affecting. Like people are kind of like deciding to not hire digital artists anymore because they don't want to be associated with AI, even when we're not using AI at all, like, and we never will, and we're very against it, so it's such a difficult thing.
Even social media's changed now, like you've got like TikTok videos, AI generated slop. But then you have a genuine one, people go, it's AI generated. It's not. It's like a high quality video and people go, it's AI. It's like,
it must be
someone does a cool trick on the slope, it's AI.
I'm
like, what?
That's why it's so like it's terrible. It's terrible. Like you can't appreciate a cool snowboard trick anymore.
No. It'd be labelled AI. Where's your proof? It's crazy.
I want to go back to a world when I can appreciate cool snowboard tricks. So, I was working a terrible job in a little warehouse, and it sucked. And I wanted any way to get out of that. And I have always loved art. When I was in school, I was that kid that was just always like drawing in my sketchbooks and in my drawing books, and I didn't really do much. And I was that art room kid. And I've always loved art. And I've also always loved music. I've been playing in bands since I was like 14, 15. And I just always wanted to be able to join those things together. So I kind of like realized that there was like a kind of an opportunity to be able to draw stuff for bands and kind of join those passions together and kind of do that. And so I was still working in this warehouse job, and I just started drawing stuff for some mates' bands, and they started kind of using it and be like, this is really cool. And then their mates were like, oh, that's pretty cool, can you do something for me? And it started snowballing. And I was living in this very, very small apartment at the time, so my kind of overheads were quite cheap. So I was like, it's now or never. I need to just do this while I don't have that many overheads. So I quit that warehouse job, and I was just like, I'm just going to put all into this. And I was working, and I still am working too much. But I was working every day and drawing a hell of a lot and trying to make it happen. And I think I was very, very lucky where I managed to make it happen, very lucky, and I'm very, very thankful.
So it's quite stable now in your line.
It is. I still don't earn like
like a lot,
but like there was a designer that did like a logo for Justin Bieber, and it was a very simple logo, and he got like a lot of money for it, and I'm not doing that yet, but one day, Justin Bieber, hit me up. It's going okay.
So last question before we cut this section off. What's your process between creating a logo, a poster, and an album artwork?
Yeah, it's all really different. So I always start with kind of a rough sketch, and I like to get the rough sketch to the bands to see what they think, and then I'll kind of go from there, designing it. Logos have obviously end up looking more simple because it's got to be good branding, but it tends to be that they actually be the most work, like so many kind of like reiterations and changes and tweaks just to get like a little kind of like icon like perfect. And I actually find that kind of like has the most work compared to a gig poster or a an album cover. But yeah, I always start with a rough sketch, and then I go from there, developing that, and kind of getting a final piece.
Right, so let's have a look at everything you've designed in this little goodie bag you brought along, apart from obviously the t-shirt you showed earlier.
In there, yeah. I brought a little show and tell bag to be like, this is the cool thing. So this is a really sick band called Filthy Militia. They're like a ska punk band from London. They're great. I've been really lucky. I've designed like all of their stuff since they started, and they're great. But this is their most recent album. You should check it out. They got me to design that. It like goes onto the back and there as well.
Sick.
Yeah, I was really stoked on that one. The actual vinyl is a really.
Have you got like was it like picture inside, or is it just? Oh, it's just a sleeve.
Look at that, but look at the colour of that vinyl. That's sick,
cool.
Right? Yeah. How cool is that? They're a cool band. You should check them out. And then I brought like a bunch of. I do a lot of like merch designs. So let me show you. Noise Fest. There's a kind of blog online called Noise. They're sick. But they do a festival, and I designed that.
It's a dragon.
Yeah, there you go, Ryoko. Yeah, there you go. yeah. Can you see that all right?
That's sick, that's really good.
What else have I got? Let's have a look. Oh, this one's sick. So there's a musician I know called Gareth James. Shout out Gareth James, he's sick. He got me to do like a Metallica knockoff shirt. So look at this. Metallica knockoff shirt. Sick. Yeah, I like that one. Shout out to Gareth for giving. Thank you to all these bands for like giving me like all this stuff to be able to rap as well. Like, check again. Tim Holhouse, he's sick. So Tim Holhouse. Hang on, 1 second. My buddy Tim is a legend. I did this CD design for him. He's
That's like Stranger Things vibes.
Yeah, a little bit. Right? Yeah.
Quite good.
And then I also designed this T-shirt for him, which I'm really stoked on.
Dig a hole.
He's got a song called Dig a Hole.
That's cool.
Yeah. I was really stoked on this design. I was really stoked to be able to work with Tim because he is like an actual legend. He's one of those people that I feel like should have been more famous than he is. Like, he's a legend. He literally just constantly tours. Like, he's going to Canada for like a month, just touring around next month. And he was like, he's just done America, and yeah, he's a legend. He's great. Let's do like one more. There's another punk band. There's a festival in Europe. I think it's in Slovakia, called Punk Rock Holiday. And a sick band called Hike the Peak. They're a cool punk band, check them out. They got me to design this for them for that festival.
Best skateboarding.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah. yeah. That's my show and tell. Yeah, there you go.
So, silly section. So, if album covers could make noise when you look at them, what would your loudest design sound like?
Album covers could make noise. What would the loudest design sound like? That is a question. Yeah. The Attitude Festival poster. You do a tumbleweed again.
Tumbleweed
again.
You should have showed us your little booklet.
I should have showed you the booklet, shouldn't I? Hang on, look. That's pretty loud looking, isn't it? Look, big tiger roar. Look there, and look, you can see there some of my process as well. That's like a rough sketch that I would send, and then it ends up looking like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What would happen if someone tried to listen to your artwork like a vinyl record? Which song would they pick to represent your work?
Anything by Cancer Bats. Yeah.
Do you have a favourite song by them?
I love that band so much. Do you know what? I've seen them about. I used to count and I'll stop, but I've been seeing Cancer Bats since they like first came over here with Gallows in like 2006. I think I'm in the 30s of seeing them live. Like, so yeah, they're playing Slam Dunk this year. I'm going just to see them. It would sound like a Cancer Bats song. I don't know. Hell Destroyer. Yeah, Children of Nothing. Yeah.
Right, let's do one more. If you had to design an album cover to for complete silence, what would it look like?
Like that.
Tumbleweed.
Yeah, a tumbleweed, yeah. Yeah. I was going to say something clever, and I was going to say there's like a classical music piece that's 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and it is just silence. It would be that album cover. But I don't know what that album cover looks like, so I can't say it. But yeah, there you go.
I reckon you make like loads of crickets.
Crickets, yeah.
Crickets in a field.
Yeah, crickets in a field.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching. Ryoko. See you next time.